Yo, what is everybody? It's me, That One Weeb here, back with part 5 for what if Tanjiro had learned snow breathing instead of, well, I guess with water breathing. Anyway, if you're new to my channel and have no idea who I am and have stumbled across this video, thank you very much for checking me out. And also make sure to go up here to the top upper right hand corner and you will find a playlist which will have all the previous parts of this series. You can just hop right in and start from the beginning of the story to where we are now. Anyway, if you enjoy the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, comment down below what you think, and subscribe to my channels for more videos from me. Anyway, sorry that I've been a little busy. I've been trying to post more videos, but I've been having a really busy schedule of a lot of other things in real life right now. Anyway, enough about me. I know you guys came in for the what if, so I'll just get right into it. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys in the video. Let's get into it. So, it's been a while since the last part, 4 months, but if you guys do not remember, which most of you probably don't, for those who have actually watched the series before, then in the last part, Tanjiro, as well as Zenitsu, would have gone on the mission to find this demon living in a mansion, and would eventually run into 2 younger brothers who were together, screaming and crying outside this huge house, which Zenitsu would have heard using his fantastic hearing, telling Tanjiro about. With Tanjiro and Zenitsu then investigating the threat, Zenitsu being a coward and completely not wanting to go, so he'd be standing outside, while Tanjiro, with broken bones, would leave Nezuko out there to protect the young children, would go into the house to go and search for the demon. Our story for today begins here. Tanjiro and Zenitsu would have been split up, and Zenitsu had decided to follow Tanjiro, with the 2 boys having followed now Zenitsu and Tanjiro into the house, and them being separated. Tanjiro would have been sent with one of the 2 brothers, while Zenitsu the other. Zenitsu would have run into Inosuke, the pig-headed boar boy, who had 2 swords just running around screaming in the house, which Zenitsu would have been obviously scared shitless by. Zenitsu would have jumped as the younger brother would then point out his cowardice, asking if he really should be here at all, with the younger child being not even nearly as scared as Zenitsu was, just every creak in the floor, every sound in the house causing him to freak out. Tanjiro, on the other hand, would have been sent into a large room, as the younger brother would hide under Tanjiro's instruction, since Tanjiro could smell it. He could smell demons. The smell of blood was everywhere. That was until suddenly the master of the house, the demon, would walk into the room. The demon would have pale white skin, almost like paper, with red crimson eyes and black stripes and spots coating its body. This would be when Tanjiro noticed the disgusting cysts growing out of its form, almost looking like the shape of a drum. Tanjiro would confront the demon as he stands, drawing his Nichiren sword, walking forward as the black blade would glimmer under the lights of the candles within the room. The demon would grunt as it slaps the drum. Using this blood demon art, the demon would flip the room around, as Tanjiro would be a bit surprised, would fall down to the now what was the left wall of the room. We would see Tanjiro now staring at the demon, as Tanjiro begins running forward, still feeling the pain of his broken ribs, as he's using his blade cutting through the air, as he continues to slice towards the demon, ready and prepared to use any of his snow-breathing techniques. Finally, he got close enough into the middle of the room where it would actually be worth using or attempting, as Tanjiro would then take a deep breath in, as he uses one of the forms of snow breathing. Tanjiro's blade would have condensation forming all over it, as Tanjiro was then sucking the heat out of the metal, freezing it, as it became brittle, feeling the cold as it would have frost building over the blade, as he would then use it. Technique number 3, Icicle. Suddenly, he would use a large jab, piercing towards the target, the demon. As he does this, suddenly, a burst of cold air, almost forming into a shape of an icicle, will begin to form out of his blade, as it pierces with a single sharp attack directly into the demon's chest. Way too fast for the demon to block it, the demon would rip out of it, as he then gets out of the way of Tanjiro's second icicle. Tanjiro would be gasping for air, having used so much stamina to do 2 consecutive techniques of the same type. not even to mention that his ribs were actually broken. Tanjiro would quickly get back into shape, now retaking his stance, holding his blade of 2 hands, as the demon would be preparing its counter-strike. The demon would suddenly start slamming the drums all over its body. Every time that it hit, suddenly the room would begin to change, as it began spinning, throwing Tanjiro into freefall, as the demon would have its own footing of gravity in the room, having complete control over it. Tanjiro would then begin to use aerial attacks, as Tanjiro thinks in his head, what attacks can I use? What technique? Which one would be most effective for the situation? Tanjiro would use Arctic Fox, spreading over his muscle mass as he becomes thinner, his speed and agility increasing, as he jumps off of furniture and moves around the room at wicked speeds. Even the demon would notice that his agility had heightened to an extreme degree, as then, Tanjiro would use Blizzard. Almost like white flashes of light, Tanjiro's blade would continue to shine, his blade switching between flashes of white and black. As Tanjiro's white-silver blade, covered with snow breathing, would strike towards the demon. Tanjiro using the combined technique of number 6 of snow breathing and number 2 blizzard. Arctic Fox Blizzard. Using rapid slashes, he'd suddenly have hundreds of cuts over his body. Tanjiro would be merciless, cutting down the demon as black blood would be leaking out all over the floor. Tanjiro would notice as he looks down, seeing the blood coating it, that the floor had tons of letters on it, memoirs and stories, and poetry. This demon used to be a writer of music, more specifically. As Tanjiro notices all the music sheets covering the floor, he would then end the demon's suffering. Considering Blizzard was one of Tanjiro's most brutal attacks, leaving the then defeated bleeding out, Tanjiro decided to show this demon some mercy, having, I guess, peered into its story. Tanjiro then used the soft falling rain, the same technique that he used in the original anime against the demon that had killed most of his fellow students underneath his sensei, as he uses it against this demon, slicing off its head in a single clean stroke, painless. The demon would then fall, as just like a raindrop, it would hit the ground before dissipating into nothing. The Nichiren blade having cut the demon down would cause it to turn to smoke, as this would be when Tanjiro, now having ended the menace, would notice the room turning back to normal. The boy would come out amazed seeing Tanjiro having defeated the demon, and would be shocked seeing how powerful he was. "Wow, you're amazing!" Tanjiro would nod, saying, "Let's get out of here." Seemingly just as Tanjiro says this, Inosuke would come crashing into the room, as he starts striking at Tanjiro, screaming, "Die, demon!" With Inosuke now attacking Tanjiro, Tanjiro would block his blows, catching both of Inosuke's blades with his single Nichiren sword. Tanjiro would ask why his swords have holes in them, with then Inosuke neatly explaining how they were to shred flesh instead of neatly cut it like his was. Tanjiro would continue to be berated and attacked by Inosuke, as he would then use snow breathing and water breathing techniques to dodge and attack back out of the way. Inosuke would be screaming that he stole the demon kill from him, as Tanjiro would tell him he has no idea what he's talking about, saying that he was sent on this mission here alone, with, well, I guess that one other guy, but that doesn't matter. Tanjiro would continue to battle Inosuke, with Inosuke then actually using a beast breathing technique, that being Third Fang, Devour. Tanjiro would shift into Arctic Fox, now blitzing out of the way, as the wall behind him would be completely destroyed. "Are you trying to kill me?" Tanjiro would say. Tanjiro now preparing to use one of his now forbidden snow breathing techniques to end this threat. Inosuke would have already been distracted by the next demon that was in the other room, this being the demon he had originally killed in the first timeline. Anyway, meanwhile, elsewhere, Zenitsu would have been so afraid with Shoichi, that being the younger brother, following him that he screams fearfully and eventually passes out. Shoichi would be relieved that he finally passed out after that scream, thinking he was so annoying, when the scream that Zenitsu had used would suddenly draw out one of the second demons. Another one of the demons in the house before, other than the master, and the one that now we can see Inosuke killing. Anyway, the second demon would then run out as it begins to run towards Zenitsu's sleeping form along with the younger brother. Zenitsu would suddenly stand up while he's asleep, as he would use it, thunder breathing, first form, thunderclap and flash, killing the demon as sparks would fly, a golden light covering the room, as Zenitsu in his sleep would have mastered the techniques. now killing the demon, with the younger brother being shocked and scared from this coward actually having some sort of skill. Zenitsu would suddenly slam his head into the wall as he falls over again, as he'd wake up wondering what happened. And he actually thinks that Shoichi was the one who killed the demon. Inosuke easily takes out the last demon, and now we have a small flashback as we would see inside of the main demon's memories, with him having kidnapped the older sibling of the two in order to devour a human of a rare bloodline, which would be worth more to a demon nutritionally, hoping to gain more power, enough to be one of the 12 moons of Kibutsuchi. Kibutsuchi had actually stripped him of his power, of his number as well, considering that he thought he had reached his limit and become too weak. It actually turns out the boy that Tanjiro, along with the older sibling Teruko, finds out that this was Kiyoshi, the kidnapped older brother. The two lost siblings would embrace as Tanjiro would watch, remembering his own family, as seeing this would remind him of the warmth of his family that had been lost. Tanjiro would then harden and tighten his fist, as the older boy would then explain to Tanjiro that the 3 demons had been fighting over who'd get to eat him. Unknown to the boy, Tanjiro had already taken care of and defeated the first demon. With the other 2 demons being taken care of by Zenitsu and Inosuke, there was no need to worry, as Tanjiro could smell that the evil of the demons had been defeated. With Tanjiro now taking the 2 siblings, meeting up with Zenitsu as they're heading outside, it seemed like everything was over. When the drum demon had attacked Tanjiro and it was manipulating the house and the rooms within, Zenitsu, along with Inosuke, after defeating their demons, would have been sent out of the house along with the one sibling. Tanjiro, coming out with the 2 other siblings, would then see Zenitsu curled over the box with Nezuko in it. And then over him standing would be the boar hat demon slayer who tried to hurt him earlier, now kicking Zenitsu, threatening to stab him if he didn't move. Just as he was about to strike down, suddenly Tanjiro would appear. Zenitsu knew that inside this box was a demon. He could have heard it using his hearing, the heartbeat and breathing. He had no idea why it was so important to Tanjiro, but he knew that it was, saying that it was meant his life to him. And so he protected it. Tanjiro, knowing this, would be, needless to say, angry. Tanjiro would then rush forward. As he pulls his fist back, punching Inosuke in the ribs so hard his ribs would shatter. Inosuke would cough up blood as the blood would then leak through his boar hat, as Tanjiro would then yell at him, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Tanjiro would then say that you were threatening another member of the demon corps. If you really want to do that, then you'll have to fight both of us. Zenitsu would look up thinking, Tanjiro, with Tanjiro having saved him. "That box has a demon in it," Inosuke would say, "and you're defending it. I won't draw my blade on another member of the corpse." That's what Demon Slayer Tanjiro would say, as this means to Inosuke that he'll fight him with his fists. "Fine by me." He'd drop his swords as the two would then run at each other. Tanjiro would be headbutting Inosuke, with the two now fist fighting. Eventually, the mask off of Inosuke would fall, as it would reveal him to have a beautiful face, which would cause Zenitsu and Tanjiro to be a bit shocked. After this, Inosuke would finally collapse from the concussion from Tanjiro's attacks, and Tanjiro would be fine, breathing heavily. Inosuke would later wake up to see Tanjiro and Zenitsu and everyone else helping to bury the bodies of all the humans who were killed in the mansion. Inosuke says he doesn't see the point, and then challenges Tanjiro to a fight again. Tanjiro then comments that Inosuke probably just doesn't want to help because his wounds hurt so much. Inosuke then grumbles. He then helps them burying with the corpses, as they would then pray for them to have a peaceful afterlife. After Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Tanjiro would finish, a Kusugai crow would appear and tell the group descending from the mountain to follow him, which they would. The crow would then spit up a charm and giving it to the older sibling, which says that it will ward off demons, this being a wisteria charm. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke would follow the crow, as they would then find a house with the wisteria root crest, and the crow would tell them to go inside until their wounds are healed. The house actually turned out to belong to one of the families that had been rescued by demon hunters, and so they tend to serve and help the demon slayers for free. An old lady would give them food and a change of clothing, and Inosuke would keep trying to rile Tanjiro up to try and fight him, but right now, Tanjiro's way too relaxed to rise to the bait. Inevitably, a doctor would finally come as he would tend to the three, finding that all of them would have broken ribs. After they would settle down for the night, Inosuke tells them that he joined the Demon Corps after beating up a demon slayer who came to his mountain, and after hearing about demons in the final selection, he thought it sounded pretty interesting. Zenitsu would then ask why Tanjiro was traveling with a demon, and Nezuko would be scratching at the box, hearing that they were talking about her. Zenitsu would start freaking out, as Nezuko would eventually come crawling out of the box. As she stands up, Zenitsu would suddenly stop screaming, as instead his face would turn bright red instead, seeing the beauty of Tanjiro's younger sister. Zenitsu would immediately think that Tanjiro was carrying around this demon because she was pretty, joining the Demon Slayers to have a cute demon girlfriend. He would chase Tanjiro around the room, declaring that he must be purged, stating that he was breaking the rules of the Demon Slayer Corps. Inosuke states that it's way too much thinking about why he would do something like that, and would eventually fall asleep from the exhaustion of the mental workout. Tanjiro would have no idea what would be on the way next. As he lays down and goes to bed, his sister would curl up next to him as Nezuko would be looking at Tanjiro, her pink eyes meeting his darker ones, as Tanjiro would smile, patting his younger sister on the head, saying, "It'll be all okay." Nezuko would eventually fall asleep as Tanjiro stares up at the ceiling, thinking about a few hours ago when he had collected that blood sample off of the main demon, the one who was the drum user. She said that if I collect enough of strong demon's blood samples, I'll be able to find Muzan's Kibutsuchi's secret and restore Nezuko to her human self. Tanjiro closed his eyes, resting, thinking about the next time he'd have the opportunity to fight a strong demon. Little would he know, though, that in a faraway mountain, a family of spider-like demons would be awaiting the Demon Slayer's arrival. If you guys want to see the next part for What If Tanjiro Had Snow Breathing, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below what you thought, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this from me. I know this part's a little shorter than my other ones, but that's because the next part will be covering 2 arcs, and I really don't want to split that one up, so this one is going to be a little shorter. Part 6 is probably going to be like 30 minutes, since it'll be covering 2 arcs, so that'll be longer, and that'll also lead to the end of Demon Slayer Season 1, which I'll then be getting into the Mugen Train, or the Infinity Train movie, as a part 7. Then I'll probably be pausing the series for a while, just because that's when Demon Slayer Season 2 will be coming out, like this year or next year sometime. And then I'll continue the series into the ending of Season 2. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Just do all that good stuff if you want, like the like, hit buttons, I don't know. Anyway, have a good one, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next part, or my next video. Goodbye.